Start in child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch and send your knees to the edges of your mat, opening up your hips and setting them down towards your heels. Reach your hands out and press them down into your mat to engage the muscles along your rib cage and lengthen out your side body. Pull the pit of your belly in and up to engage your Uddiyana Bandha, your belly lock, and start to engage your abdomen muscles. Stay here for a few breaths, lengthening out your inhales through your nose and matching them to your exhales out of your nose, using muscle action to press your air out. Come forward onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. You can walk out your dog, bending one knee and then the other. And then open up your feet to the edges of your mat, ground down into your right palm, and reach your left palm towards your right ankle. Bend your left knee and twist open. It might feel really uncomfortable in your grounded hand, but that's okay because it's uncomfortable for me too. And switch sides, opening up your glute, just kind of waking up your body. Good, and come back to downward facing dog. Place your feet at about hips width distance, and then send your chest back towards your thighs. Pull the pit of your belly in and up to give yourself space to deepen your down dog. Press firmly into your palms, focusing on the space between your thumb and your forefinger. That's the triad of your hand. Press into that space like you're going to open up two jars away from each other. You can also come onto your forearms if your wrists are feeling a little bit weaker. This is a modification, but it also really fires up your shoulders and opens them up even more. But it just takes the effort out of your wrists, the strain away. Good. Get comfortable with your down dog. I like how I told myself good. Come high up on your toes and then take little steps to walk your hands all the way to meet your feet. Hang heavy for ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows and then just melt your upper body down onto your legs. Let your head hang heavy. Shake it yes. Let some tension go in your neck. Yeah, vigorously shake it. Move your whole upper body all the way to the right and then all the way to the left. Wake up your body and then come back to center. Drop the crown of your head down towards the mat and breathe. And give yourself a few more shakes if you need to let some shit go. And pull your belly in. Drop your hands down to your mat, heel toe your feet together, and rise up one vertebrae at a time. Your head comes up last. And then reach up to Dasana. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up to Dasana, fill up, and then exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift and create a flat back. Lengthen out your spine and then plant your hands, step back to high plank. You can come down onto your knees and press your mat away from you. Really getting strong in your shoulders, engaging your abs. Coming into a long line from the crown of your head down to your knees, down to your toes. Lower down low plank as you exhale. Hug your elbows in. Upward facing dog. Open up across your chest. Come to the tops of your feet. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Start to match every move with your breath. Your inhale, you expand, and your exhales, you contract. Inhale, come high on your toes, and then as you exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen out your spine, and then exhale, fold. Rise up to Dasana, fill up your lungs, one breath. Really lengthen out and grow tall, and then fold forward, empty out your breath. Halfway lift, lengthen out, then plant your hands, step back to high plank. As you exhale, lower down low plank, hugging your elbows in, upward facing dog, fill up. And downward facing dog, press your air out. Use muscles, the muscles between each rib, that's your scalenes. That will press your air out. Good. Inhale, fill up your lungs, come high on your toes. And then exhale, step forward. Halfway lift, lengthen out your vertebrae, and then fold forward, empty out. Rise up to Tadasana. Your inhale brings you up, and then your exhale, fold forward, empty out. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Chaturanga. Step back to high plank. As you exhale, lower down, low plank. You can come onto your knees. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, empty out. Take 2 breaths here. As you move through your sun salutation A's, just match each movement with a breath. Inhale, come high on your toes. And then exhale, step forward. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Then exhale, fold forward, empty out. Rise up to Tadasana as you inhale, fill up, expand. Then exhale, fold forward, empty out. Halfway lift, Chaturanga. Fully exhale as you lower. And then fill up your lungs. Upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Savasana. Empty out, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. Focus on your breath. Waking up your body, coming into your body. Come high on your toes. Inhale. Then exhale, step forward. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Then exhale, fold forward. Utkatasana, send your hips down towards your mat. Spiral everything in, your shins in towards one another, your thighs in. And pull the pit of your belly in and up, engage. Cactus your arms to engage your thoracic spine and the muscles, your traps. Good, and then inhale, reach up. Stay. Tuning into your muscles, strengthening. And then exhale, fold forward, empty out. Halfway lift, Chaturanga. High plank to low plank. Your inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Bring your right knee into your nose and then plant it between your hands. Set up for warrior one. Your inhale, step forward. Exhale, set your foundation. Spiral your back foot, ground down. Then inhale, lift up. Check in with your alignment here. Check in with your back foot. Maybe adjust it. Scoot your front leg out. And then sit in. Work on squaring your hips towards the TV. And then inhale, reach up. Fire up your muscles. Let them talk to you. And then exhale, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, fill up. Downward facing dog, push your air out. Bring your left knee into your nose and set up for warrior one on the left side. Spiral your back foot so the blade edge is grounding down into your mat, lifting the arch of your foot up. And then work on squaring your hips forward, parallel with the front of the room, the TV, wherever you are. Good. And then tune in. Turn on your breath. Inhale. And then exhale, Chaturanga. High plank. Lower down, low plank as you exhale. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Sun salutation B. We'll move through. Inhale brings you forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, send your hips down towards your mat. Your inhale lifts you up. One breath. And then exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, chaturanga. High plank to low plank, fully exhale, hugging your elbows in, and then upward facing dog, fill up. Downward facing dog, empty out. Warrior one, right side. Your inhale brings you up. And your exhale, flow. Hands to your mat. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, fill up. Downward facing dog, empty out. As you inhale, step your left foot between your hands, and as you exhale, set your foundation for your warrior one. And then inhale, lift up, one breath. Exhale, flow. Chaturanga, high to low plank. Urdhva Mukha, up dog. Adho Mukha, down dog as you exhale. Starting to build a fire, getting a sweat going. Really tuning into your body. Inhale, come high on your toes. Exhale, step forward. Halfway lift, fill up. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, send your hips down towards the mat. Your inhale brings you up. Your exhale, fold. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Chaturanga. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, fill up. Downward facing dog, empty out. Right side, warrior one. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, set your foundation. Inhale, rise. And then flow. High to low plank. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, empty. Left side, warrior one. Inhale, step forward. Set your foundation and then rise up for one breath. Deepest warrior one and then flow. High to low plank. Upward facing dog, inhale, lengthen out your collarbones. Downward facing dog, empty out. Take a few breaths in downward facing dog, spiraling your shins and your thighs in towards one another, hugging into center. Come high on your toes, then step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, send your hips down towards your mat. Spiral into center, lift up, and stay. Tuning into your muscles, bring your hands to heart center and twist to the right. This is the first modification. You can anchor your upper body onto your legs using your elbow. Or if this is uncomfortable, step your feet wide to give yourself space, maybe about hips width distance. Come into your Utkatasana and then twist from your thoracic spine. Open your palms to the side wall and breathe. Come back to center, inhale. We'll twist to the left. Whichever twist you're more comfortable with, bring your hands to heart center and then open up. Working your hands towards heart center, or if you're staying up, reaching your arms long, one towards the front of the room, one towards the back. Checking in with your knees, making sure they stay in line with one another, keeping your hips square. Fire up your breath. Deep inhales, equal exhales, and Ujjayi breath. Inhale, rise up to standing. And then exhale, come back to chair. Tune in, fire up. Inhale, reach up. Drop your hands down by your side. Let's set up for Malasana. So step your feet to the edges of your mat really wide with your toes facing out. You can place a block or some pillows or something to bring the floor up to your bum. Clearly, I didn't realize I needed two. So maybe 2 blocks, just right underneath your sacrum. And then use your elbows to press your knees open and lengthen out your spine. And this is a great place to work on your Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor. So you want to think about pulling your butthole up into your body, or your Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor, up into your Uddiyana Bandha. So it'll feel like Kegels, or if you're peeing and then you cut it off midstream, that's what it feels like. It's really subtle, but pull it in and hold it. Work on locking that. And then keep that lock throughout the rest of your practice. Drop your hands down onto your mat and send your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Heel toe your feet back together, and then sit down on your mat. Come into boat pose. So balance on your sit bones. You can hold behind your knees. Pull the pit of your belly in and up and knit your front ribs together to come into your center line, to fire up your abs. You can stay here or extend your arms. As much as you're pulling your belly in towards your spine, pull your pelvis, the space between, like your taint, in. And then plant your hands down on your hips. Lift your butt up off your mat. Pull it into your shoulder girdle, your mula bandha. You can keep the tops of your feet down on the mat. And then come back to boat pose. Stay here for 5 breaths. Deep inhale. Equal exhale. Keep your mouth closed to build a heat, to build a fire on the inside. Good, and then plant your hands, cross your ankles, come up onto your toes, and lift your bum up off your mat. Use your mula bandha to pull your butt up. Then come back to boat. Stay here for 5 breaths. This is ab work, stability, building a core, creating a strong core for a strong foundation. Good, one more breath. Fill up. And then plant your hands, cross your ankles, lift your bum up. Pull your butt up into your body, your mula bandha. Good, stay for 2 breaths. Come back to boat and then release. Roll back on your spine, hug your knees in, release your low spine. Good core work. Take happy baby. Reach for your ankles and notice. You can also reach for the blade edges of your feet, but notice if your sacrum comes up off your mat. I can't take that bind because it takes away the integrity of my spine. So instead, I reach for my ankles and then use my elbows to press my knees open and down towards my mat. This way, my sacrum is uncurled, my spine is long, lengthening. Keep your breath. Deep inhales, equal exhales out of your nose. A fiery breath. Hug your knees in, give them a good squeeze. Bring your right knee into your chest and then cross it over. A supine twist. Look to your left. I like to tuck my left hip underneath my right to get a deeper twist. And then switch sides. Hug your left knee in. Scoot your right hip under. And then look to the left. Twist out. Keep your breath here. Deep inhales, equal exhales. Hug both knees in. And then come back to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up to the ceiling and flex your toes. Point them down towards your mat, spiraling into center line, and then bring your knee into your nose. Puff up your back, open up your shoulders, send it back. Good. Inhale, bring your knee into your nose, and then exhale, send it back. 3 points. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, send it back. A little more core work. Inhale, bring your knee to your nose, and then drop your knee down to your right wrist. Come into half pigeon. Work your right shin towards parallel with the front of your mat and wiggle walk your left leg so it's long behind you. If your right hip is, if there's a lot of space up off your mat, then place a block or a pillow or something to bring the floor up to your hip so that you can keep your hips square and still get a surrender, a release in your hip. That's essential. If your hip is up floating and you don't want to use a block, then you're not going to find a release because you're going to be straining to hold yourself into the posture instead of using your exhales to relax. Keep your breath. Stay checked into your practice. Every time you exhale, relax your bum, your glutes. Relax your hamstring. Choose a muscle to relax. Plant your hands up near your leg, remove your block, and then step your right foot back into your downward facing dog. Hook your left toes around the back of your ankle and release your hip. Melt in. Good. Lift your left leg up to the ceiling. Flex your toes. And then bring your knee into your nose. Puff up your back. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha, your Mula Bandha. Pull everything in up to your core. Good. Move with your breath. Inhale. Bring your knee into your nose. And then set up for half pigeon on this side, on the left side. Work your shin towards parallel and keep your toes flexed. But if scooting your leg out further away from your body, if you feel any kind of pain or like extreme discomfort, then just scoot it back into your body. Keep it hugged in. Then inhale, lengthen out your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Working on squaring your hips down towards the floor. Opening up your hip. Keep your breath. Deep inhales, equal exhales. Start to make your way back into downward facing dog. As you get there, plant your right foot into your mat. Hook your right toes around your left ankle. Release your hip. Stretch it back out. Let your stretch go from half pigeon. And then make your way back onto your bum. Just walk your feet through your hands. Come to seated. I've been playing with floating. And then extend your feet long in front of you. Move some meat out of your seat. Come high up on your sits bones. Inhale, reach up. Then exhale, reach for your toes. And create a vinyasa here in order to deepen your fold. So every time you inhale, lengthen out your spine like you'd be creating a flat back, halfway lift. Then as you exhale, pull your belly in and fold forward. And relax into the stretch. Good. Do about 5. Inhale, lengthening out. Exhale, folding deeper. Inhale, lengthening out. Exhale, folding deeper. And then relax. Wherever you are today, maybe your fingers are on your shins or on the mat beside you. It doesn't matter where you are today. It's where you're going. Rise back up, plant your palms right behind your bum, bend your knees, ground down into your feet, and then lift up for tabletop, sending your hips up towards the ceiling and releasing across your chest, dropping your neck back, opening up, counter stretch. Good. Drop your bum back down to your mat. Take Supta Baddha Konasana. Place the soles of your feet together, press them in towards one another. Let your knees fall wide, one hand on your heart. One on your belly. Stay here for a few breaths. Then hug your knees and release your spine. Set up for Shavasana. Deep rest. I like to let my feet fall open, my palms face up towards the ceiling. Hug your shoulder blades in towards your thoracic spine to lift up your chest, and then take rest. Let your practice integrate into your body. Release your breath. Release your belly lock. And relax. Start to wake your body back up. Leading with your heart, make your way onto your right side, cradling your head in your arm. Take a second to check in, to appreciate your body, to acknowledge it for doing the work for you, and then press your way up to seated when you're ready. Hands at heart center. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.